Right now at 6, the town of Campbell hosting a board meeting with big agenda items, how they're continuing to fight PFAS contamination.
And the Brewers' playoff push, reactions from fans as the crew looks to get back on track.
Watching WKBT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski. Game 2 of the NLCS is tonight. The Dodgers taking Game 1 from the Milwaukee Brewers.
But don't hit the panic button just yet, because here's what some fans told us.
Brewers lost Game 1. Is it all over for?
Oh, heck no. We're still in it.
I'm not worried at all. They're a young team. They're always on the comeback.
I have them winning tonight. They'll be decent. I think their pitching is way too deep and their bullpen is pretty good.
Loving the optimism. So tonight the Brewers looking to bounce back with the ace on the hill. Let's bring in News 8 Now's Cade Overton. Good evening, Cade.
I'm not going to call tonight a must-win, guys, but it's as close as it gets with games 3, 4, and 5. They'll be in LA, so if you drop the first 2 games of the series, then a comeback will be tough. We're already on to game 2, though, so we won't talk about the what-ifs, but what we can talk about is what the Brewers can do better. The obvious answer is hit. Milwaukee managed just 2 hits in yesterday's game and only drew 3 total walks. Now, I find it hard to believe we'll see the Dodgers have another pitching performance as good as Blake Snell was last night, but the Milwaukee Bats will need to show up and do some damage. For Milwaukee's pitching staff, Freddie Peralta will be on the mound, Yamamoto for LA, and we'll see how this one goes. First pitch set for 7:08 on TBS.
Sounds good. Thank you, Cade. Well, after a disappointing Game 1, is it time to panic? Our News 8 Now poll asked, are you still confident the Brewers will win the series? 67% say yes, 33% say no. Brewers have a chance to bounce back in Game 2 tonight. As Cade mentioned, first pitch at 7:08.
That's right, 7:08 on the nose. A drug investigation in Arcadia has resulted in 2 arrests and a drug seizure. Arcadia police have arrested Edgar Joel Rodriguez and Kareem Rodriguez Aragon after a month-and-a-half-long drug investigation. Officers seized over half a pound of cocaine with help from Trempealeau County Sheriff's Office during a search warrant. That investigation is ongoing. In La Crosse, a budget shortfall could cost the city a library.
Yeah, News 8 Now's Grace Monk is in the newsroom with this story. Grace.
The library system could see major cuts in next year's budget. Tonight, the library board will discuss how they plan to handle it. The library board will consider cuts to services, programs, and hours, or whether closing the Northside location is the best option. It's one of several departments facing cuts, and directors have been tasked with recommending cuts and closures. One Northside resident said she wants the library to stay open.
I don't want it to close because, it has good books, where you can read and spend your time.
Council member Aaron Goggins says closing the North Library will have a negative impact on residents.
The North Side is in a unique position where it has viaducts and it has train tracks that separate it from the other side of town. So people that can't get to the South Side Library, where are they going to go?
The city continues to make budget cuts to qualify for $1.7 million in state tax credits. 3rd District Council member Barb Jansen thinks the city could find a different way to do that and reduce the cuts coming to community services.
We can't expect all the other departments to make cuts if we're not making cuts ourselves. It's not fun, it's not pretty, but we can be more efficient and do better.
The board could vote on reductions tonight or table it until their November meeting. In the newsroom, Grace Monk, News 8 Now.
Eau Claire could be getting a new cat ordinance. The Eau Claire Sustainability Advisory Committee is considering a change. It would require domestic cats to be on leashes outside. The move is to protect birds. There's also a push for higher licensing fees. That money would be used for a shelter for abandoned outdoor cats. The committee will meet tomorrow.
My cats do not like leashes. They do love being outside. Not in rainy weather, though, Greg. We've got that going on tonight and through Wednesday. today.
Yeah, what we say, it's raining like cats and dogs, but it's not actually raining that heavy outside, but it is raining too. So we're going to continue to see that overnight. So it's going to be a wet conditions right now. If you look outside, it's not too bad. La Crosse, it's just a little light sprinkles here and there. It's a little bit wet as you go further north. You can see that most of the activity is north of La Crosse right now. Overall temperature is pretty uniform across the area, right around in the low 50s, and we haven't moved much. These temperatures likely will not move much overnight, but most of the rain you can see is starting to pick up a little bit in Ladysmith. Some of that yellow is moderate rainfall, otherwise intermittent light rainfall. Further south, you can see there's your cameras from Menominee. This is a wet interstate, obviously, and then we're starting to pick up a little bit more for Eau Claire, but still generally light. Further south, we're starting to pick up a little bit more, but you can see there's a cutoff between there. Winona's actually picking up moderate rain. The sensor doesn't pick up actual accumulation. That's why it says 0, but they are starting to pick up more rain. And then further south, you can see the Lansing Bridge. Overall, it's fairly dry right now, just a few clouds out there, but right now, if you go further south, it's mostly going to be a dry evening with a few more showers coming on. Overall, big picture shows you there's your rainfall amount so far. Blue is more like a quarter. If you're outside of that, it's more like less than a tenth if we saw the amount. So later on, we got another round to go through once this ends. But if you want some hope for the end of the week, we do have mid-70s and maybe some good, dry Friday coming up. We'll break that down a bit later in the broadcast.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
Well, the town of Campbell completed drilling for its first municipal well, but they still have some big business ahead.
News 8 Now's Allison Fergut is live tonight at Campbell Town Hall with a preview of tonight's board meeting. Allison.
The meeting is just getting underway now, but there are some big agenda items that they will be tackling tonight. There will be an update on the town's battle with PFAS and their efforts to improve their municipal water system. As mentioned, Campbell completed drilling a new municipal well last week to hopefully avoid PFAS contamination in their water. There's been lots of testing so far, and Town Chairman Dan Kopinski says everything's looking good.
It's going well. It looks like we have a volume of over 1,500 gallons per minute, which is what we're looking for. And it's PFAS-free water. It's down over 500 feet. And we're excited about step number 1 in our municipal well project.
There will also be an update on the town's incorporation process as they look to gain village municipal rights, and another agenda item tonight, an ordinance on whether to allow the use of ATVs and UTVs on town roads. So a very packed meeting, but we will have a full recap tonight at 10. Reporting in the town of Campbell, Allison Fergut, News 8 Now.
All right, thank you, Allison. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Amplify by Gunderson is highlighting their efforts to make screenings more accessible. The health system's mobile mammography units help provide services to women in rural communities. The units have been used in Bellin and Gunderson regions for more than a decade. In that time, over 70,000 patients have been served.
About 13 times a month, we take our mobile mammo RV out and offer screening mammograms to patients at Gunderson clinics and businesses within 2 hours of La Crosse here.
Amplify officials say women aged 40 and older, or anyone with a family history of breast cancer, should regularly schedule mammograms.
Happening around the state, get set for lower gas prices. The switch to the winter blend is on. According to AAA, the price for unleaded in Wisconsin is $2.67 a gallon. Last year at this time, it was $3.05. The Green Bay Packers are a hot ticket in and out of town. 3 of their next 4 games have average get-in prices close to $400. The Pack will face the Cardinals and Steelers in away games. Then at Lambeau, they'll take on the Panthers and Eagles. Post Malone is coming to Summerfest in 2026. He'll play at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater June 27th. Malone will be joined by special guest Carter Faith. Those tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m.
A La Crosse holiday tradition is back for its 31st year. Rotary Lights announced what's new for this year's display, including a volcano, 4 new animated displays, and a talking tree. Baxter is the Rotary Lights stuffed animal this year, with all proceeds going to the Salvation Army. The display is free, but as always, Rotary Lights asks for food and cash donations to feed the hungry in the Cooley region. Rotary Lights kicks off November 28th at Riverside Park with an opening night parade, ceremony, and fireworks.
Day 14 of the government shutdown. Still ahead, the White House's plan to continue paying troops and law enforcement.
And President Trump awards Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom posthumously, and the congressional tribute that honors his memory.
Tomorrow on News 8 Now this morning, the government shutdown is about to impact paychecks, plus burgers, beer, and a good cause, how you can get involved, and artists tracking more rain when we see you at 5 a.m.
President Trump posthumously awarded Charlie Kirk with the nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. In the White House Rose Garden, the president presented the award to Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk. Today would have been the conservative activist's 32nd birthday. Kirk, who was a friend and political ally of President Trump, was assassinated last month during a speaking event at Utah Valley University.
Today we're here to honor and remember a fearless warrior for liberty, beloved leader who galvanized the next generation like nobody I've ever seen before, and an American patriot of the deepest conviction, the finest quality and the highest caliber, the late, great Charlie Kirk.
The House and Senate approved resolutions last month, making today a national day of remembrance for Kirk.
The government shutdown is hitting day 14. The Senate preparing for an 8th vote on House legislation to fund the government, but Republicans and Democrats remain divided over health care policy. Air traffic controllers are working without pay, prompting union members to speak out about the financial strain on federal workers.
American worker that lives paycheck to paycheck, which is almost every air traffic controller, cannot last without pay.
The White House says it plans to continue paying troops and law enforcement while issuing more layoff notices. House Speaker Mike Johnson warns this could become the longest shutdown in history as lawmakers remain deadlocked. We'll have more news ahead.
But first.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have more rain on the way here. Another round coming for Thursday, but we do have 70s in the forecast, including Friday, too. So we'll break all that down coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break. Although we're not going to see a lot of rain with this type of system in the next one, this time of year definitely got to take care of the gutters and all that with leaves can stick right there. You can see what the downspout could be looking like too. So something to keep in mind as we go throughout all the leaves coming down, as it can clog up and then cause some issues when we have some heavier rainfall. We're not expecting to see heavy rainfall with this type of system too. It's fairly light too. It should be not much of an issue, but we are starting to see this overall band, kind of widespread area with some moderate rainfall beginning to sink a little bit further south. La Crosse starting to pick up some, but once again, you go further south La Crosse overall for the next couple hours, it'll be mainly dry for like southern Vernon County, Crawford County, into Iowa, even Richland County. Not much in the way of precipitation, just some sprinkles, but that will change as we get later on. All this is really just a disturbance. The front as well to the south is beginning to lift north. It'll shift east and then dive southeastward over the next probably 18 hours. So that's what we're going to deal with. Eventually will come to an end here as we go into the afternoon. But as I mentioned, all this band is really going to start sinking further south. So by the time we get to about 8:39, we're going to start seeing a lot of more activity south of I-90, whereas north of I-994, you'll start seeing it kind of break up a little bit, especially after midnight, although it depicts not much going on at this point. A few lingering showers, but the main band then, after midnight, begins to sit pretty much I-90 to I-94, and then as we go throughout the night, towards tomorrow morning, it'll start breaking up a little bit, so it's intermittent light rain for the morning commute, but you see it's really just mainly south of I-94 for the morning commute, and even then it's just some light rainfall. Not expected to see any moderate rainfall, but there will be wet conditions, and it will linger through the morning hour and then become more isolated as we go closer to the noon hour, and even in the afternoon, a few sprinkles, but really I think most of the afternoon is going to be mainly dry. But as you know, a lot of cloud cover. It's probably going to be sticking around for most of the day. There could be a few breaks for some areas, maybe towards the late afternoon, but most areas will not see this break in the precipitation. Now for precipitation, where that band sets up, this is going forward now from what we have now, going all the way to about 5 to 6 a.m. It's really going to be centered just north of basically Interstate 90 right now. Could see up to a ½ inch in this band. Outside of it, maybe a quarter. Outside of that area, it's more or less around 1/10 of an inch too. So general light rain. And temperatures tomorrow, with the precipitation and clouds, not expected to move much, and they're not mid to upper 50s, pretty similar to today. Overall, that is a little bit below average for some areas. Now the next one comes Wednesday evening, looks fairly dry. Wednesday night for the most part is dry, but the winds start turning around to the southeast because a warm front will be lifting. So that will bring showers back in the area for the Thursday morning commute. That'll push east. We'll have a few breaks, maybe even a little bit of afternoon showers. But then for Thursday evening, I think overall that's going to be dry with that south wind begin to pick up, and we'll have some breaks in the clouds. That's going to set up a very warm night going into Friday. In fact, some areas may not get to 60 for overnight. So very warm start. Here comes the cold front. That won't come through probably until late Friday evening. We'll have to keep an eye on the timing because it could impact activities and evening football too coming through. Eventually it will come through the area overall Saturday and beyond look dry, but we have to keep an eye on that front. There's your temperatures for Thursday. Upper 60s, 70s. We get a little bit of sun in the afternoon in some areas that could get close to 70. It is going to hit 70 as we go on Friday, mid to upper 70s in fact. So very warm and breezy conditions with that front coming through. As we go through the weekend, we'll kind of go back down to where we should be on Sunday under breezy conditions, and next week with another system coming potentially on Tuesday and Wednesday. So overall, much more active weather that we're going on. We're going to get some rainfall. We will have some breaks, and overall, Friday's not looking too bad, minus the Friday night stuff we'll have to deal with.
All right. Thanks very much, Greg. And coming up next in sports, the Brewers shaking up the starting 9 for Game 2 of the NLCS. Plus, Badger basketball season right around the corner. The team's new leader on the batch of transfers ready to make a splash. Cade is next.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports with Cade Overton.
Well, in just a little bit, the Brewers and Dodgers will take to American Family Field for Game 2 of the NLCS after a nail-biting Game 1. Last night, the Brewer bats were dead all game, but they still had a chance to take the lead late in the 9th. It was a 2-1 game. The bases were loaded with 2 outs for Bryce Terang. And here's what has baseball fans and social media losing their mind. An inside pitch, people were screaming for Terang to get hit by it. Just stay in there, take the pitch. It would have brought in a run to tie the game, but I think a lot of people have never been in the batter's box before because when a pitch is coming straight at you, reactions take over and your mind tells you to get out of the way.
It sucks. It is what it is. Natural reaction to kind of get out of the way. And there's nothing I could do. I can't go back.
Even if you try to maneuver yourself, it's hard to get hit by the pitch because it's just so reactionary.
Well, that's in the past. Now the Brewers will need to focus on tonight. Game 2, Freddie Peralta on the mound for Milwaukee and Yamamoto pitching for the Dodgers. Earlier in the year, Yamamoto had his worst outing of the season, failing to make it out of the first inning after giving up 5 runs. He's been a lot better since then, since that start, but we've seen the Brewers have success against him. Jake Bauers also getting the start in left field. That's a bit of a switch up. We'll see if it pays off. First pitch set for 7:08 on TBS. From the MLB playoffs to football season, and now basketball will soon take over. The NBA starting next week, and the Badgers will take the court at the end of the month. Wisconsin entering the season ranked 24th in the AP polls. The Badgers lost a lot of key pieces, but they're returning some big parts and even added a few guys in the transfer portal, including a bunch of guys who can score the basketball.
I'm excited to work with this group. We have a very dynamic team, versatile team. 1 through 15 is just all talented, so I'm very excited to get it going.
I think we'll be a very high-scoring team, fast-paced team, a lot like we were last year. I think, we got a fun team. It's a fun group to be around.
Wisconsin will have their first official game on November 3rd when they host Campbell. And here is an updated look at our Pick'ems leaderboards. Ken, you're still at the top. Emily and I, towards the bottom.
Yeah.
A special shout out to Dan Lawrence of La Crosse, 13 out of 15 this week.
Nice.
But Emily, we're at the bottom, but there's still a lot of weeks left. We're coming for you, Ken. You better stay sharp.
Dude, I'm feeling the pressure. I had to rebound after the terrible week I had last week, getting only 3 games right. So I think I finished with 11. Went 0 for 2 on Monday Night Football last night, though. Those were both upsets.
Yeah.
A lot of games to bounce back.
Yeah, a little surprised with Buffalo yesterday, but you picked the Falcons,
Jake
right?
and I both
good.
had them. Good pick for me. Not a lot of other good picks for me.
That's all right. Long season. Thanks, Cade.
All right. Greg is the final look at your forecast right after this.
All right, wet for tomorrow morning, then we'll have a break, and we have more precipitation coming for Thursday morning. The good news for Thursday and Friday, we're warming up back up to the mid-70s. Overall, Friday looks good. Unfortunately, a cold front comes through Friday night with another round of precipitation, too. And overall, the weekend is shaping up to be dry.
Yeah, it's feeling more like October, though.
It definitely
We
is.
like it. All right, thanks for joining us at 6.
And we'll see you tonight at 10.